Terry Pratchett has been delighting readers since 1971, when his first novel, a humorous fantasy entitled The Carpet People, was published by Colin Smith. During the early part of his writing career, he worked as a journalist and a press officer, writing in his spare time and publishing a number of novels, including his first Discworld novel, The Color of Magic, in 1983.
Thank you, Amanda, for getting it right. Most people get some of it wrong. But let me tell you about this OBE business. A lot of American friends started calling me Sir. Let me tell you about the British Empire. Basically, it's what there is there is sheep. So, as an officer of the British Empire, if I ever go there, those sheep have got to do what I tell them. Then there's the Carnegie Medal. Now, I've been writing books for a very long time and never got any kind of awards. Just lots and lots of money. And that's no salve to the artistic soul. I actually met J.K. Rowling only once. She came up to congratulate me on having won the Carnegie Medal. I'll explain that in a moment. And I said, well, you haven't done too badly yourself. I said, well, not as far as awards go. So I said, well, yeah, isn't it nice to fall backwards into a pile of money the size of the Carnegie Medal, suddenly, I write a book for children, which is, I kind of change the style a little bit, but it's recognisably a Discworld book. And they give me a medal. And they're not going to give me another one because I ate the first one they gave me. See, they give you the medal twice. They give you it, first of all, at a kind of press day, and then a month later, they give it to you more formally at a big children's librarians meeting. And in the intervening period, I had a chance to notice that the medal that they'd given me was exactly the same size as the largest coin in a bag of chocolate money readily available. It was but the work of a moment. Said coin, and go along to the meeting and hand over the genuine medal and receive it back in its box. And then palm it quietly while I was talking to people and replace it with chocolate. I really like this medal. I mean, it's the best kind of way. What's so good about this that librarians particularly will appreciate? You can eat it. Emergent behaviour, that's the stuff you guys here will know about. I make it up as I go along. I make it up very, very professionally. I know how to make it up as you go along, and then once you've made it up, you go back and then read and play and change. And so the writing of a novel for me is like a caterpillar moving. The front end moves quite fast. But there's movement all up and down the whole body as you're going back and adjusting and pulling the whole thing together. In fact, the last pre-editing draft is known in our house as the corsatory. That's when you stick your foot in the small of the log's back and pull the string there, and it all kind of creeps into the right shape. And I'm having a lot of fun with it right now. And working away on my little HP pocket PC on the train and everything, even on tour. That will be followed, as far as Tiffany Aching is concerned, by I Shall Wear Midnight. I haven't got a clue what it's about, but it's going to be really fun. And very good. Because in fact Winter Smith is turning out absolutely beautifully. And I'm not going to tell you what it's about. But at one part, having associated with a goddess, she catches a rare mythological disease. This is not the correct Latin, but it is better than that. Ped fecundis, fertile feet. Everywhere she walks, flowers grow. And that's only the start of her trouble. And I think we got from the interview that I really love Miss Treason, the witch who's 113 and who everyone believes has got a clockwork heart, and a few more interesting characters, not to mention Horace the cheese. But I like Sam Vine. People say, who's your favourite character? And I say, well, probably Sam Vine or possibly Granny Weatherwax. My favourite character is Death, or the librarian, or God help them, the luggage. And I said, yeah. From the point of view of the author, these are not much fun because they do not have an internal monologue. Well, the librarian has an internal monologue, but some years ago, I was chatting to a games designer called Trevor Pruitt about he wanted to see if it was possible to do a Discworld game, and I said, well, Coon's Valley is a fairly obvious game, but he said that given what we knew about the trolls and the dwarves, it would be quite a difficult one to do. And we came up with the idea of a game that you had to play in two halves. One half you had to play the dwarf, one half you had to play the trolls. Because I was already seeing the plot possibilities in all this. I'm privileged to say that a couple of weeks ago I took part in a game of live action FUD. Skilled chess players in the UK say it's a much easier game to learn than chess, but because the battle can shift across the board very, very quickly, you need an entirely different kind of mind to master it. And you actually have to learn two different styles of play. I had a few other things to do. You may have heard of them: Going Postal, Thief of Time, Night Watch. But all the time this was bubbling away in the back of my mind. Thud is the first word in the book. Why am I telling you guys? You've already read it anyway. And I knew it was going to be a murder, I knew stuff was going to happen, and other things happened, and Vine started to think about it in a certain way. And one thing I did know, that central to the plot was that at 6 o'clock every day he would have to get home, no matter what, to read From Where's My Cow to his little boy. I have no excuses. He couldn't be a second late. It couldn't be a good excuse. He has to be there, because he thinks he's a bad parent. So the one thing he can do is be there at 6 o'clock. There's 700 words in the book, Where's My Cow? I should know because I wrote them. Talk about money for jam. I have to keep going back and tighten them up again. There's actually a kind of, it's like about doing little cameos. I'm not a good short story writer. I like to sprawl. Like I care. I was born with a deformed sports gene. I don't care. It's outrageous the people who are manic about Manchester United, who've got Manchester United pyjamas, think that people who like Star Trek should get a life. I've got news for you. Science fiction fans have never trashed a railway train. There's never been a pitch battle in Belgium between English and German sci-fi. It would be nice to picture it, wouldn't it? We have Discworld conventions every year. Every other year, there's kind of intermediate events and there's kind of little events around the country. But there's such a lovely thing we found about the last convention. The Discworld convention drank more beer than the British National Science Fiction Convention. And the guy said, I really like your fans. They drink like the rugby club, but they fight like the chess club. So there's going to be that, and there's a couple of little ideas I'm thinking of to follow on. I want to slow down on writing because I had those of you at the con heard me talk about this. I had a near sandwich experience last year. I kind of thought, I better slow down in order to get a life. And I looked around and thought, yeah, but that's kind of dull. Something like sitting in deck chairs and stuff. You know, writing and signing is quite cool, and I quite like doing it. But it was getting close to killing me, so I've got to be a little more careful now. So I can't say that. One city a day, God help us. But to forestall the question, I intend to keep going. There are other plots. There's one children's book and 2 adult novels that aren't Discworld, but they're buzzing around in there looking for a way out. And like the badge says, so many books, so little time. I never expected any of this. People say, you know, people ask me if I did. It's kind of a dumb thing to ask. There was a period in the late 80s, early 90s where sales were climbing so fast I had no opportunity to kind of get accustomed to what was going on. It's just moving so quickly. And it's happened. So, I mean, I think at the moment, just to explain to some of you who don't know, for the first 10 years of my career I have published here in the US in a way which, for those that weren't familiar with the vagaries of the publishing industry, would have struck people as malign. Far too late, badly edited, my name spelled wrong on alternate pages on one of the books, with dreadful covers. And then about 5 years ago, 2 publishers collided and kind of new elements were created, including an editor that actually wanted to edit me, and a publicist who knew my name. And since then, there we are, you can come out with a look later on. That's the one with the fully articulated chains. God, go for merchandise and send spies! I'm still wearing it because I can't get it off. Not really. Okay, you sir. Okay, well then that was kind of in joke about, I mentioned the silver horse. Well, the jeweler that made it got this guy to kind of check I'm still wearing it. Yes, I am. Take the photograph. Sir.
I know you said that Death is a very one-dimensional character for a writer.
No. I mean, Death doesn't have internal dimensional, but he hasn't got the internal dialogue.
He is one of my favorite characters as a reader, and I'm always very fascinated in where he came from. Obviously, he came from your mind.
Okay.
The idea behind him, not just him as a character, but him as the idea of death.
Right. Okay. That's a good question. I think most of you heard it, did you not? It was like how the nascence of death in this world and how I got there. When I was a kid, I was really, really scared of skeletons. Okay, so that's not psychology 101, right? And also, death turned up in the Discworld book first. There was a story, I think, from the Arabian Nights called Appointment in Samara. And I'm sure I can see lots of heads nodding. Where this guy goes to his master and says, can you lend me a fast horse? And the master says, why? Because I saw death in the marketplace and he looked at me as if he knew me. And I fear for my life, so I'm going to gallop all the way to Samara tonight and he'll never find me there. And the guy goes into the marketplace and he sees Death there. I don't know what Death was doing, looking for cheap underwear, something like that. And says, well, why did you scare my servant like that? And Death says, I didn't intend to scare him. I was a little surprised to see him here because I had an appointment with him in Samara. It's a beautiful a beautiful story. Obviously, I stole it. And also because death stands outside humanity. But one of the things that happens in this world, as is exemplified at the end of Thief of Time, when he's actually pointing out to the other horseman, the apocalypse, what he says, who gave you the hand? Who turned you into horsemen of the apocalypse? It is not their job to be actually against mankind. And he stands outside and kind of comments about us, and it's a kind of interesting mirror. And also it's great fun, and it's the only character that can be recognisable by the typography. It's been really fun because I think it was in Night Watch, the brethren are all chatting away, and only you, the reader, recognises that one of them is speaking in small tracks. As far as they're concerned, he's just another guy in a black robe. And of course, among the ladies, Lord Veterinary is always very popular. I think you're practically veterinary or something. I don't go there. I know one was strange. Another question. Madam.
This is a little obscure, maybe. About 2 or 3 months ago, Neil Gaiman on his blog was saying that the two of you were having a conversation speculating about what Crowley and Jericho would be up to, and he quoted a line, "Oh, on the South Downs, really? What is it they were doing on the South Downs?"
I can't remember. This was Neil and I talking, what is it called? No, I don't know what it was. Oh yeah, we went to something, right in front of me then, the red screen.
Me?
Yeah.
I hope this is a good enough question. What is it like to work on a project so big, like Good Omens, with another person? What are the mechanics of that? Did you email Neil Gaiman as an attachment?
This is what was it like to work with Neil? And the answer is, and he gets exactly the same thing, and the answer is, in those days he wasn't Neil Gaiman and I was barely Terry Pratchett. Just beginning, in fact, I'm not even certain, yeah, I think he had started doing Sandman. And I've got a couple of bestsellers. But I mean, we were kind of still kind of below the radar, and so we could more or less do what we liked.